mental well-being, right?
So, as a child, I was sexually molested. I'll just go through a few of them.
3.
Feeding children on the street.
Held alive on custody.
Each segment was a delight to witness. You have lost your wager.
Big Brother Naija Week 3 Wager Task Presentation. This was a very simple and straightforward one. The housemates were given an instruction to pass a message about health and wellness through an entertainment form. It can be physical, emotional, spiritual one, but let it come in form of a podcast or a TV show. Kicking off with the topic mental health, their podcast had speakers like Anita, Ozzy, Wani, and TJ. Anita will be speaking on misconception of mental health, while Ozzy will be speaking on anxiety and its treatment, and Wani will be focusing on everything mental health. Wani told us about mental health in both children and adults and why we should raise our kids to be comfortable with sharing their journey with us. She used her story as an example in the podcast on how growing up, how she was abused as a child, and she couldn't even go speak up to her parents because her abuser was threatening her. And with that, she also gave us numbers that 1 in 5 adults in Nigeria are struggling with mental health issue, and 13 to 18 years of age currently battle with a mental health issue, and these issues can manifest in form of bipolar, anxiety, and they need someone to speak to. Up next, Anita, who spoke on the misconception revolving around mental health. She said that most time people even think that mental health is a myth, especially the men who don't see the need to express themselves or their feelings. And another misconception around it is that people consider those battling with this problem as dangerous or violent, but we shouldn't have that misconception about it. And finally, she mentioned about poor people, that most times they feel it's only the poor that suffer from this mental health problem, but we should bear in mind that even Fortune 5 business owners do at times take life in their own hands. And just then, TJ, who was the host, announced that they have a call from someone from Abuja who spoke on. She just had a heartbreak, blah blah blah. How is she going to come out of this? And Wani had to be the one to advise this caller, advising the speaker to find someone to talk to, and she should know that the perfect man for her will definitely come. Anita spoke again on to find help revolving around your health. That first of all, you need to understand the type of mental illness you're suffering from, and that's to go get diagnosed. After that, you can now seek medical help. And she also mentioned that 6 in 10 women has been abused in their childhood, and whenever these women come out, maybe as adults or later on in life, to speak about this experience, that most time you see people asking, why are you just coming out now to speak? But we shouldn't encourage that. We should allow everybody to come up and speak up whenever they're free and ready to do that. Just went ahead to call a toll-free number that anyone can call if they need help. Like they did it just same way it's been done if you're watching a podcast or a TV show. Still in this round one, the next speaker was Ben, who spoke on mental well-being and said that this is just the positive state of the mind. And he went ahead to give us tips on how to maintain our mental well-being. He said financially, we should properly budget our finance. That most times when people go broke financially, they tend to experience this. They get depression, they get depressed. And we should also network so that you have people to speak with, people of like mind, and at that you have people to share your problem with if you have any. That helps as well. And then came exercise. We should exercise regularly. He was using himself as an example. Can't we see he's 60 and he still looks good? He also recommended balanced diet, eat good food, rest, try and sleep for more than 5 hours, and especially for those living in Lagos. You should make out time and sleep and rest, as not to get mental illness. And then the last speaker for this category, OC spoke on anxiety. He said, although anxiety helps a lot of people get ready, but anxiety is very bad when it gets overwhelmed. That people don't know that they even have this thing. Most times people don't consider it as a disorder, but we should know that it's very bad for our health. An example of this can be what can lead to this post-traumatic disorder, general anxiety, panic disorder, and the treatment is to get help medically so that a doctor will recommend antidepressant stuffs, physiotherapy, psychotherapy, stress management, but you need to get medical help first. For the second phase of their podcast, the topic was emotional wellness, and Victoria was the host for this one. Vicky, my Vicky baby, and she did very well with this role. She started with introducing her speaker, Dr. Suj, as a psychologist, the Dr. Flo as a community health practitioner, Dr. Tufa as a community medical practitioner as well. And starting with DJ Flo, she told us that emotional wellness is all about cultivating and managing our emotional well-being. And what are the signs of emotional wellness? Ability to cope with wide range of stress and emotions. That in fact, we all go through something, but it's now how we manage it that is the key. Tofa then continued from where DJ Flo stopped, saying that we should endeavor to create our own happiness, that it has lots of benefits to our health. We should do as much as possible to have a well-balanced life, a well work-life balance, and this will boost our confidence and boost our mental and health well-being as well. Suj spoke on the side effects of anxiety that most of us do not even have an idea of, like digestive disorder, hormonal imbalance, and self-harm. At this point, they also took a question from their viewer, and after which DJ Flo went ahead to give advice that to maintain your emotional wellness, you have to understand it first of all, understand what it is, and then check yourself properly. Join a community of like mind. Don't settle with things that are detrimental to your mental health. Don't pour more than you receive. And then came the TV show hosted by Ozzy and Chizoba. They called it the Daily Show, where they talk about health and wellness. And we all know they are celebrating their health and wellness week. And for that, they'll be bringing a fitness trainer. At this point, they introduced Mickey, who told us that his inspiration started 4 years ago when he said that he will stop taking sloppy food and focus on calorie deficits diets, and he does his own workouts, and then he goes ahead to teach us some home workouts that we can do on our own at the comfort of our home. We don't even have to bother going to the gym or paying a trainer to do that for us. He mentioned the neck tension, how we have to roll our neck for 5 times. You go clockwise, go anti-clockwise. That it helps release your shoulder tension. And then he also talked about calf liftment, that we should raise our calves. We should try and do that 10 times a day, 5 in the morning, 5 at night. He also recommended jumping jack, that will help relieve our hand, and we should swing while doing it. Next guest they introduced to us was Onyeka, who they said is a queen of flexibility. And Onyeka told us that her inspiration was when her father died. She wasn't really present in life and found herself doing yoga and then got healed. Onyeka taught us different variation of yoga, the hip lifts, and while doing this, we should just make sure we are breathing. That's the most important thing in doing yoga, that it's a breath and mind workouts. After this, they went on a commercial break, and while on break, they got Femi and Handy to perform for us. Femi and Handy danced to Michael Jackson Heal the World, and while doing that, they were also passing a message to us on mental health. Final and last guest on the Daily Show happens to be Ruthie and Kelly Ray. Ruthie was introduced as a Guinness Book of Record holder and a chef, together with Kelly Ray. And Ruthie said her inspiration is from feeding the hungry. Ruthie went ahead to tell us about the magic of the kitchen, how we can also get our health benefit from the kitchen by drinking water first thing in the morning, take our smoothies. We can have pineapple water, watermelon and ginger. We can blend it together, sieve and drink. that watermelon is good for us, it has fiber, and ginger is an antioxidant against infection. And Kelly also told the men that you see this watermelon, make una dey drink am o. The watermelon helps with extracurriculum activity for the men, so they should do well to take it as it helps with blood circulation. Ruthie also added that if you're trying to manage your weight or drop some weight, you should focus more on vegetable and salad. Final performance of the night was done by Kelly Ray, Wani and Handy, and it was a song on healthy lifestyle and healing. They had this banner that is written, "Choose the healthy way." Judgment time, and Big Brother called on the heads of house to make a comment on their presentation. And Nelly added that they did well, they followed the guidance, the instruction that was given to them. They adhered to the task given during the week, which is jumping jack, 200,000 steps to achieve, and to always jump jack whenever the music comes on, and to limit access to kitchen, that they did all that. Big Brother then went ahead to tell them that their first podcast was so immaculate that he feels like giving them a blank check to produce more episodes. When Big Brother was saying this to me, I was just rejoicing. Hey, these guys don't win their wage already. He was just commending them. He even went ahead to mention Ben's name, Anita, those first speakers, and told them that they behaved like true medical practitioners the way they spoke. He also told them that each segment was educative, well executed, and a delight to witness. And after that, he paused and continued that the housemates have been complacent, that some of them do not even show up to the lounge when Big Brother's briefs are being read by the heads of house. In fact, in Big Brother's word, you said you have become so bold that when Biggie's doors are closed, you even force them to open. You've become so comfortable that Big Brother has to confidently remind you to wear your microphones. Housemates, you're under the impression that you are on vacation, or do you think that Big Brother can't enforce the rules of the game? He continued by telling them that they've rewarded his hospitality with disdain, that his tolerance for weakness, and that ends tonight, that their punishment will be given to them in due time, and they should not even, delay to do that. So with this, Big Brother now told them that they've lost their wager. Honestly, they performed well, but I guess it's not only that presentation that sums up to whether you win or not. I think their weekly activities, reaction, and behavior also add up to this Friday score. So with that, they lost their wager, and getting into the house, Ben gives some speech on how moving forward they should try to do better, listen to instructions. People should act on Big Brother's instruction. When Big Brother called them, you should gather in the lounge without wasting time. Anyways, for me, I was just admiring their outfits for tonight. They all looked good. Thank you for listening. If you have watched to this very end, thank you, and tell me in the comment section, so I'll give you a shout out in my next video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you some other time. Good night.